Hi everybody. Just wanted to show you the difference between the 150 one. If you can, I don't know if you can actually see the hole, but the one on the right, he's got smaller holes than the one on the left. That's a 150 one. The top end, the 200 one again looks slightly smaller than the 150. I've got loads of jets and what have you, so I'm in quite a good position. I can quite easily mess around. What I've done at the moment, I've put a brand new 122 in as the main jet, and I've left the 200 atomizer in. If it's still bogging down, I'll change to the 150 one, because I've already set these up with the 118 and 120 main jet. It's sort of mid-range between, you know, the pilot and the main jet, where it's dying out on me. It's it's bogging down, is the best way I can describe it. But that, you know, it's just standard 45 pilot jet and 50 choke jet, so they're not changed. They're pretty standard across the range anyway. It's where it picks up between the two, and we'll go through when I put it on the actual engine, the difference between, you know, putting a choke on and seeing if it's choking out when you're revving it and all that sort of stuff, and how you set up the hunt tick over. What I've done is I've just copied the Lambretta workshop, which is half a turn out. I normally start at 1.5 turns out, but seeing as I'm having problems with this carb, and there's the reduction sleeve push back in again, it takes 2 seconds. It's just, you know, literally put it in a vise, or, you know, put a plate on there and a plate on there with a threaded rod and just bring it in. Like I say, you try not to hit anything, because you don't want this surface distorted. There's nothing worse than, you know, you look at a carburetor and it's been mullered. It's been mullered at the back as well. But you know, they are old items now, aren't they? And they've been through everybody's hands along the way over the years. But I just wanted to show on this brief video that is so much more tighter with a Scooters India. You know, I'm going to have to actually put some oil on that to get that to actually seat. So I'm pretty confident now. There is going to be no air being sucked in from the back. It is, you know, dare I say, that would run without even the clamp on it. You know, it is nice and tight. It's turning, don't get me wrong, but you know, that's good as any that I've ever had in. You know, it should be. It was an unused second-hand carb. It was sold as second-hand, and it was cheap, so, you know, at the time it was bought as a spare, but that's by the by. But as I say, the cheap ones won't even stand up, will they? They haven't got the metal in them. I think that one came with a 186 kit. Pretty certain it did. But like I say, I'm putting the proper 200 one on. The Seal ones are probably the best ones, other than Delauto anyway, or whoever manufactured them for Innocenti. You know, that's his near damn nice and heavy piece of kit. But like I say, I've got loads of different jets. I can go right up to 130 there in quite small increments. From 117 I've got all the way up. So, and I've got different atomizers, and, you know, I've got loads of jets, but they're for not for a 222mm carb. A lot of my stuff again there's for 150 engines and what have you. It's what you accumulate over the years. It used to sort of break scooters in the past, so, you know, get what you want out of them and take some spares and sell them on, and, you know, hey, que sera, sera, eh? But that was above us. That's the original 150 GP Series 2 engine, I should say, and it's more or less back together again. All it basically needs is, I'll come and put the exhaust back on it again, and I'll put the inlet manifold, and what I'll do is we'll go through timing that scooter. I'll show you, you know, because the parts on it don't belong with this engine, so we're going to have to time it, and it's got a GP200 crank in it anyway, so I'll go through on a video with you how to time a scooter, you know, how to statically time it, put it that way. But all I need to do now is put the float back in on this one, and you know, the pin, and put the float bowl back on it again. And when I come back from being out today, then we'll stick it on the Series 2, fire it up and have a look. Like I say, I've started pretty weak. I wouldn't normally start at just half a turn out. We'll see how it runs, because it might be that it was too, you know, I was starting from 1.5 out, which is normally the rule I use with any carb, to be honest. And then either weaken it or richen it. Turning the screw in weakens it, turning it out richens it. And the only carb that's different to, as far as I can remember, is the PBH 30mm that a lot of 225s are running, and it's the opposite way. Out riches it, and sorry, in richens it, and out makes it weaker. Minefield, innit? Okay, I'll just end this video now. I just wanted to show you the reduction sleeve in. I've put the inlet on. It's, you know, there's a wire nylon gauze under here, and a washer around the outside, and a washer under the screw that holds it all together again. And this has got a pin so it holds it in the correct position, or the position they've deemed it. I still think that the pin's a bad idea. These are even worse. I've never liked the Jetex. It just doesn't seem to be big enough to me, but what do I know? You know, that's just an old, you know, Jetex. If you actually look at the inlet on them, you know, the difference in, you know, the actual, I'd say the Jetex is a heavier carb, but I know it's more built up, but I think it's a heavier carb. But it's stuff like this where they've reamed it out. The only 22mm I had reamed out was on an AFS type that I had. You know, it came with a reamed out 22mm and standard Innocenti gearbox, but it had a, I think it had a smaller drive. You know, the drive cog on here was smaller, so it changed the gearbox ratios, and it used to wheelie in second gear just by opening it. It was plenty fast enough for me, but I suppose these modern scooters now would absolutely piss all over it. But you know, run it into the ground. But that's life, isn't it? Everything moves on. But I'm not trying to achieve that on this Series 2. It's just to make it more usable. You know, when you're out and about, and instead of struggling keeping up with everything. So I've got to go now anyway, chaps and ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else who's watching it. Thank you for watching it again, and thanks for taking the time to subscribe. As I say, you know, I'll put the float bowl on, and then we'll be ready when I come back to stick it on the scooter itself and see how it goes. Bye for now.